Hey YouTube, it's jurracmaster, aka your number 2 source for Lavals. Yeah, I gotta give lordsolar Prime his little shout out. He is gonna be ahead of me on the Lavals. He's been working on them a lot more than I have, and the reason I say this is because I've made my Laval deck. All my stuff came in the mail. I've got everything today, and I don't know when I'll upload this, but hopefully you guys should see it within the next day or two. So, yeah. But before I get started, I do have to once again say thanks to lordsolar Prime for helping me out a little bit with it. I hadn't previously really tested this too much, and I talked with him to see how his playtesting had gone, and what cards he would recommend using and not using. For the most part, I knew the Lavals and what to play them at. I had that down. I don't think I've changed that at all. But, you know, he helped me a little bit with the extra deck and just kind of spells and traps to use. So, thanks to him. And with that, we'll get started with the deck profile. So, first off, we've got 3 Laval cannons. I'll get into combos and strategies later. 2 Laval Lakeside Lady. 3 Laval Volcano Handmaiden, 2 Laval Forest Sprite, 2 Laval Miller, 2 Laval Magma Cannoneer, 1 Laval Lancelord, and 3 Flameville Fire Dogs. That's the monsters that really go with Lavals. Then there are just the 2 Effect Veilers, because Effect Veiler works very well against a lot of decks right now, especially with Priority Gone, Rabbit being killable with that. Not really killable, but might as well be. So for the spells, we've got 3 Rekindling, 3 Gold Sarcophagus, 2 Pot of Duality, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heavy Storm, and 1 Book of Moon. So, that's it for the spells. Wrap it up with the traps. We've got 1 Solemn Judgment, 2 Solemn Warning, 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 Torrential Tribute, and a Mirror Force. Now, yeah, that's really all monster hate, but we'll get into that later. Something that lordsolar pointed out to me, so that's why it's mostly monster hate. So, just gonna get into the extra deck real quick, and then we'll go back and talk about the deck. First off, 2 Laval Vol Dragoon, then 1 Laval Stenin, 2 Laval Vol Dragon, 1 Laval Dual Slasher, TG Hyper Librarian, Cataster, Black Rose, Flameville Deity, Stardust, Scrap Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, Red Nova Dragon, and Steel Swarm Roach. At first I was running Gem Knight Pearl. I wasn't running Red Dragon or Red Nova Dragon, and I wasn't going to put in Ancient Flameville Deity, but I decided on it. He's kind of optional, seeing as the only real way you can make him is Magma Cannoneer plus Lakeside Lady, unless you do it with maybe something out of the extra deck. I don't know if you even can. No, I don't think you can unless you have a different extra deck than me. So, he's kind of tough to make, but, you know, it's possible. So, he's in there because he's still really good. Now, the 2 dragons, that's just preference. He's very good just at 1 in this deck, but I like to have the second one just in case I make one just to save one cannon, because I'd rather go into the dragon at that point than dual slasher, which probably won't happen. But there are occasions where I might need to make a dragon. Like if I need to send a really big monster back that dual slasher can't handle. Just in case I make one too early and then I need to get cannons back in the deck later on in the game. Only one Stenon. Let me just put this in this mode. Only one Stenon because he's not the greatest. He's got a great effect and everything, but like most of the time in this deck, you make an early Laval Dragoon play, and then the rest of the cards in your hand you don't want to waste. So like the ditching a card from your hand is really inconvenient. So that's why there's only one. And the Laval the Greater, I liked him before too, but now that we have Dragoon, there's no reason for him. And Laval Dragoon, I think would work well at 3. I guess 2 is all that's really necessary. But I don't know why it's shining red right now. The dual terminal flashy stuff. I don't know, it's not really necessary to have 3, but it would be nice if I could make the room. Because I've run out once, and it's not like I needed it, it's just I could have made a level 6 during a rekindling play, and it would have helped out, but I could have played around it, and I did, so I never really need a 3rd. It would just be nice to have it sometimes. So, jump into a few choices in here. You're never going to need 3 of this, that's why it's at 2. This is one of the things I found out on my own. Having 3 is too many, because you don't need a 3rd. It ends up just clogging up your hand or something later on, or even early on you just get too many, and it's not worth it. I'd rather just have the 2, because you're always going to be reusing it, because you're going to remove it from its effect and then bring it back, synchro into Black Rose or something, and even at that point you're probably going to use Rekindling for game. I'll explain why in a minute. That's one thing I'm really happy Lord Solar showed me, because I didn't realize how good that Red Nova Dragon would be in this deck. So next thing about the deck would be the 3 Gold Sarks, 2 Dualities, Rhoda, and Book of Moon. That's the next part I want to talk about. So these are related to each other. The Dualities, you need those to get stuff like Rekindling and maybe Cannon to use. Obviously you're not going to go off that turn, you're not going to special summon anything, but you use it to set up. The Gold Sarks, you do the same thing. You can get the Rekindlings with them. If you really need to, you can go for Cannon, but I usually don't have to. And basically, great first turn play comes from the Gold Sarks, and I'll get back to that when I talk about the deck's plays. Book of Moon is for when the opponent realizes that setting cards helps you go off, so that you can book something and then pop it because it's set, or you can book a monster that is too strong for you and then run it over with Fire Dog. It's got a dual purpose there. Rhoda obviously only has 3 targets in this deck, Laval Cannon, but it's definitely worth it. That's the card you need most out of your monsters, is Laval Cannon. He makes the deck happen. Him and Lakeside Lady together just make this deck happen. So, the next thing that would be important, well, actually, no, I've covered everything that's really important. The rest of it's just picky stuff that you'll figure out on your own if you play the deck. So I'm just going to jump into, like, the deck's strategies. The first turn play I was talking about is you have one of these in hand, or you Rhoda onto your hand, and you have a Gold Sark in hand. So you Gold Sark the Forest Sprite. Forest Sprite's then removed, you summon Cannon, and then you make Dragoon, who will then in turn be amazing. He searches one of these to your hand, assuming you don't already have one. If you do, you just add another Cannon, and then discard the one you already have. But basically what happens is You add one of these to hand, send it to grave, which then starts this loop. You send the next one out of the deck to the grave, deck to the grave, deck to the grave. Right there, you've already got yourself 4 different Laval names in your graveyard, and what is that, 6 Laval monsters in your graveyard. So that's incredibly important. And each subsequent turn, wow, I can speak. You can keep adding a card that you want to go to your graveyard to your hand, like this, and then send it to the grave. Just like that. That easy. If you have a Laval like this in your hand that you want in your grave, or one that you just don't want in your hand, like Miller, because you don't need it at this point, your options are usually add cannon and send that monster to grave. This thing helps you get cannons, and cannons help you win games. Basically, you've got this all set up, right? And, by the way, if this goes to grave, it's typically a good idea to remove that, just so that you can cannon with it later. You can just cannon, literally you can cannon this thing straight out, and, because cannon will bring back any Laval monster. So, yeah. You've got this set up, right? Your opponent sets a card. Like, this is one of the big ways to go off for game. Your opponent sets a card. Just remove 2 of them for the sake of argument. It really doesn't matter what I remove here. Typically go for that. Or, as I said, this is probably in grave when you're doing this, so you'd remove that instead of the Volcano Handmaiden, but just because I don't want to have it out. These then get removed. You drop this, summon, make Black Rose, pop everything, and then they've got nothing to defend themselves, so you just rekindling, and if you have 2, that makes it even better. But basically what you do here is you summon this, 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 and this. Since it's the only other one, you have to summon as many as you can. And then from here, you just go into your Red Dragon Archfiend, and then these guys will make Red Nova Dragon. And unfortunately, this was in there and not another target. Later in the game, you might have something like Magma Cannoneer where you can do this, and that's really nice because this is basically insta-game. Because, keep in mind, this was sent to the graveyard, so this thing gains 200 for each Laval that was in your graveyard once Forest Sprite went to it. So especially later in the game where you might have one of these in the grave, that is really powerful. I pulled it off in a duel for 1600 additional attack, and basically this right here is game anyway, because let me count it off. At this point I only have 4 in the grave, 4 tuners, because it probably would have been 5, maybe I would have had more later in the game because I keep using this. But usually when I do this, I have about 5 or 6 in the grave for tuners. And keep in mind, Veiler's a tuner. So this thing will gain its 500 attack for each. This thing will gain attack from the Forest Sprite when it goes to the graveyard. However much that is, it doesn't really need it most of the time, because that's a lot of attack power between the 2 of them. If you get this to 65, that's with 6, I think. Yeah, 6. Then that's game without the boost, but basically, either way, if you have 5 in there and this thing gets boosted, it's game. So, it's pretty powerful, and pretty much instant game because you Black Rosed, and they've got nothing. Or you flushed out the card that was keeping you from really going off, and then you go off because they had to say Solemn Warning your Black Rose, and then after they have no Solemn Warning, what are they going to do to stop your rekindling? So, I hope you guys like this deck. I hope that the little analysis and strategies and stuff helped you out here. Obviously, there are other plays this deck can make. It's got many, many plays, but I can't cover them all. So I will be doing Dueling Network videos. You guys might even see 1 or 2 of those before you get to see this deck profile. I'm not sure how it's going to go down. But, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. hope this deck helped you out, like the deck profile helped you out, and I hope you enjoyed it. So feel free to leave comments on how you think the deck is, how it looks, how you think it'll play, and keep watching for those Dueling Network videos if you really like this deck. Thanks guys, have a nice day.